What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. As I promised you guys today, we are here with Kevin Levrone, IFBB Pro, IFBB Hall of Famer, legendary bodybuilder, etc., but more importantly, my friend. So, Kevin, the discussion that we had last night on the phone, genetics. You guys don't believe this shit. You guys think it's drugs, it's this, it's that. Genetics. How important are genetics in bodybuilding?
90% of the game is genetics, and you guys can actually see what's going on with men's physique. I mean, these guys are like genetics freak. They're like bodybuilders, you know, with just this enormous amount of shape. But you have to have a foundation, Jerry. I mean, you know, genetics it's important to build muscle. It's important for shape. It's important for burning fat. All the genetics. You have to have the complete package of genetics. Some guys are genetically blessed more than others to put on thick, hard, solid muscles. Some guys can lose weight quick and fast, and some guys just have enormous amount of shape and conditioning. So,
now, what's the guy's name that company that you're with? The guy was here today. He did the pro.
His name is Mike. His name is Michael, but I don't know his last name right now. But he's with the company House of Vitamins, and right now he's signed on with House of Vitamins out of California. His name is Michael. He's probably about 6'2". He actually got the first call out in men's physique. He actually won the Europa 2 weeks ago. So look for him at the Mr. Olympic.
So this guy's what genetics is all about. He's 40-something years old, or 40 years old?
He's about 42 years old. 42 years old. And again, you know, it's like we're talking about genetics, and that has to do with the genes, you know, passed down through the generations. That has nothing to do with steroids or what you get out of a bottle. You know, bottles do not build champions. You know, that has to be something genetically comes down from God, and you can tap into and understand the process of coming into who you are as a competitor.
So now, if you had a young guy, let's say he's 18, 19, 20 years old, and he comes up to you, and nowadays all the guys want to take every supplement that's a GNC, they don't really want to do the big workouts, and they think that it's about the supplements and the drugs. What would you tell them is the most important thing?
Well, Jerry, I mean, if that guy came up to me that was, you know, say like my son, 18 or 19 years old, and he said, hey, Dad, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, doing antibiotics or whatever. Something that's, first thing I would think about, that's something that's, I would say, son, that's something that's going to harm your body. You're a grown man, and you have to realize that when you make a decision to do something like that, you're almost taking your life in your own hands. So my job as a parent or as a professional, I have to give you good, solid, sound advice where I know my parents would have told me, hey, don't do that. So my advice would be work hard, believe in who you are, trust your decisions, and try everything possible before you decide to take that next step. When you take that next step, you got to also realize that you're taking a risk, and you might not wake up the next day. You're going to be a different person 4, 5, 6 years down the road. You know, you're pretty much your walking time bomb once you decide to do something illegal and put it into your body. You know what I mean, Jerry? And it's just it's a gamble that a lot of these guys take. You know, that they think that just because a pro like myself or someone else, they think that we might be doing a certain amount, or they might think this, you know, but that's not necessarily true. Genetics is number one. If you don't have the genetics, then forget about it.
Now, we didn't discuss this before for me to tell him what to say, because you guys have heard the same thing come out of my mouth and what he's telling you guys right now. Would you say that 99% of what happens is diet?
You know what? It's got equal without a doubt, because you know, you can have the greatest physique in the world, but if you eat like you are what you put into your body, if you eat a bunch of fat all day, you're going to be walking around with this fat body covering up an awesome skeletal physique that nobody can see. You know what I mean? On an opposite thing, if you starve yourself and don't eat enough, you're going to look like a skeleton. So you have to have a balance. It's genetics as far as eating, training, sleeping. It's got to have that combination. You know, and as far as, you know, what you're doing with your training, and Jerry's a trainer, he has a team of athletes that he's working with. Him and I work out and train together. He's already done the research. So my advice to you guys out there searching, he's already done 80-90% of that research. His job and my job as a pro is to pass that information on to you guys and say, hey, look, by the way, this is the way that I would go about doing it. I wouldn't do this, I would do this. And take our advice, and then you guys make your own decision, you know. But if you try Jerry's training methods, I can guarantee you, he's already made the mistakes, so I guarantee you that he's going to cut out 90% of the mistakes that you're about